This game is like no other. It's one of the best survival games I've ever played. On the surface, it looks like Minecraft. However, it couldn't be more different. Everything is so much more complex, more threatening, but so much more rewarding. The goal is to survive and hopefully make it to the next spring. Winter is incredibly dangerous and food is limited, so you have to prepare. This is the start of our journey. And welcome back! Last video, I started my work on an actual mob farm, and to be honest, it wasn't all that successful. However, it shows promise. Well, should be one in here now. No. We managed to get one singular drifter in here, and honestly, that was a win. That means that this is possible. And a lot of you actually shared a bunch of ideas with me as well. I don't know if I made it clear or not. However, this was meant to be a very, very scaled down version of what I plan on doing. The plan for this is to have like 10 different rows and then also make it wider in both directions, to be honest. Like absolutely make it massive. Then light up this entire area over here. Everywhere where they could spawn, completely light it up. So the only place for them to spawn is in there. By the way, something I did have to share with you guys because I didn't actually show it to you guys and it was a bit of a shame. So we're going to go into here and look at this. Remember, it's daytime out. And when we come in here, everything is blocked off. However, it is quite bright in here and I think that it's affecting their spawns. That is my guess anyway. Also, they were definitely fighting the water, so that was a bit of an issue. And you guys shared an idea right here. I'm not going to hop down there because I want to break it. They don't want to drop down to here, but apparently it's like Minecraft, where if I put 2 trap doors right here, they would see it as a solid block and they would just walk directly off. And that's another plan I have. And a couple of you shared ideas that I could do with said mods that I have. However, I'm trying to make it somewhat vanilla friendly as of right now. Then immediately we're gonna do a hard pivot and just do what we can to get it to be the best. Oh, I walked right into a portal. But yeah, we're trying to get this done today. Well, not done, but I'm trying to get a new version of it that actually works and at least gets like 1 drifter every like 2 minutes. That's a low bar, but I'm gonna set it there. That way we can actually achieve it. We'll see how it goes. So other than that, we also went back to the coal mine that I previously went to in another video because I missed some stuff. However, as it turns out, I might have missed even more stuff. We're gonna head back to the coal mine. I'm not gonna make it a big segment of this video. We're just gonna go back real quick, do a bit of digging, and then leave. So I'm gonna go get some food. I was gonna say put some stuff away, but I don't need to. So anyway, get some food and I'll meet you guys over there and then we can check it out. Okay, we're here. It's been a couple of days since I've spoken to you guys, but we're here. Again, I wanted to make this super quick. So my goal is to get all the way down to there. Nothing else matters. Okay, so I had a little staircase that brought me down right here. And I think you guys said with a little bit of digging that I could go ahead and find a whole new area or something. There wasn't a lot of direction here, so I'm just gonna start digging in all directions. And hopefully then we'll find something. Oh. What the? Oh god, there's a lot of guys. Oh, holy crap. It's like the Resident Archives. Wait, is there an actual way to get into here? Ah, dude, this place is insane. Wonder if there's actually a reason to come down here. Also, how was I supposed to find this? Yeah, but actually, how was I supposed to? I only kept digging because you guys were so sure that there was something. Look at this. I went all the way that way. Then all the way that way. All the way that way. I went pretty far down. And I went pretty far that way. There's got to be a legit way of finding this. Hold on. We're going to poke my head out again. See, I do see that right there. So something had to have connected up with it. Because how is the average person supposed to find that? That's what I'm wondering. Like, if I didn't have your help, I would have never found that. I think that should have connected up with this, maybe? Hold on, maybe I just had to mine out like 5 blocks this way. I mean, the ground even changes here. So if I didn't know it was this way, then I probably would have stopped. However, maybe it's not this exact one, but I'm just going to continue this way and see if I connect up with it. Okay, I think that's it right there. Cracked shirt. Let's see. Okay, this is it. And this is the platform that I saw. Hold on, we're going to go ahead and light it up. There was nothing too special up here. I'm trying not to get close to it because I know there's a bunch of bow torns down there. Hold on. Let's just throw a random torch down. Yeah, and that's a death bell right there. Do you think there's something good in there? I don't see any other entrances or exits in there. I see a bunch of dead bodies. I'm looking for loot. Like, I see that right there. However, I would assume that's a broken tool. There's a death bell with my torch on it. Hold on, we're gonna throw another that way. And let's see how far I can get one. Not very far. Like, holy crap, is this a cool room? I just don't know how you were supposed to find this. Who actually found this? Is there anything on that maybe? Okay, I'm gonna feel really bad if it turns out that this had something really cool in it and I'm just leaving. However, I am. Thank you for showing that to me. Yeah, I never would have found that in a million years. So whoever found that is kind of crazy, but that's awesome. And secrets like that are honestly so cool. But yeah, now I don't feel so bad for not finding it the first 2 times. I think that was quite reasonable. The way you made it sound, I thought I missed something like super obvious or something. But no, I think that was pretty reasonable. And like I said, that was just going to be a super small segment of this video. I'm going to just go ahead and head back home. Then we're going to get to some mob farm stuff. So, see you in a minute. And we're back. So I have a couple things I want to do before we get to work on that mob farm. One of which has been something that has completely escaped my mind. And I remember hearing about it and then just completely forgetting about it. However, it's kind of like an iteration of this right here, but it's a lot smaller and it's a coke oven. Now, why do I want a coke oven? I don't know. But it's a thing. And I figured we would try to get one, and maybe I'll end up using it. So it seems pretty basic. We just need some of this right here, which I have plenty of extra, and it doesn't even cost that much. Plus, we're gonna need a coke oven door. So that means that we need to go up to the Skyforge and just get one of those made real quick. So if I'm correct, this should be super simple, and I think we only need about 4 iron bars. So we're gonna get that heated up real quick. We can just throw it on this, and I could be wrong, but I think we only need an iron hatch door. So we're gonna try that out. Come on, Hellfamers, do your thing. There we go. So yeah, I only ate up 4 of them, and I think we should be ready. We'll just climb down the roof real quick. By the way, how's it going in there? Any spawns? We're still doing this. I don't think anything is spawned in there yet. So just because I can, we're gonna do it up here. Wait, no, this is a fire hazard. Definitely not doing it there. We can do it right here. So I do have some refractory bricks here, and I think it's as simple as this. We just gotta encase these 2 right here, and then add a roof on top, like that. Then we place the hatch door like that, and I think that's a coke oven. It's not saying it is, but I believe. Then I think I take black coal and just throw it in the back there, and then give it a light, and close it. Oh yeah, look at that, coke 32 hours. So that was a lot easier than I thought it would be, to be honest. And I probably should have done this earlier. However, I don't even know if I need it. Well, I'm gonna assume that I definitely don't need it, but I hope it's a lot more useful. And if you guys happen to know why exactly I might need this, please let me know. My assumption is it can burn a little bit hotter. Maybe I can use it in the steel furnace instead of charcoal. That would be my best guess. So if that's true, please let me know. And we're gonna try that today anyway, so maybe I'll figure it out on my own. So the next thing that we gotta go do is go to sleep. Then we can get to work on the mob farm. Oh, wait, oh my god, there's a temporal storm. Okay, not expecting that. Get in here. Close it off. I got some random cobblestone. And now we're gonna get another take at this. This is science, okay? Anything for science. So, I'm just gonna sit back, and I'm gonna see if anything can spawn in on me this time. They didn't last time, so I have a good feeling I'm gonna be safe. And I'll let you know if anything changes. Oh, the storm seems to be going away. Nothing has spawned inside of here, and it's been pretty safe. So I'm convinced. I think water is the way to go for temporal storms. You just chill out in some water, and I think you're safe. I could be wrong though. Maybe I'm just super lucky, but I think that's true. And the storm's gone. Yeah, that was a pretty chill night. So let's get rid of these. And I'm just gonna head right out. I don't even care. I just saw a bow torch. Goodbye, sir. Oh god. There's another. You know what? You're dead. You are so dead. And he's dead. I told him. I warned him. Wow, there's a bunch over there too. No thank you, I'm out. Oh yeah, I need to go find my scythe. So real quick, before we get to the mob farm, I have to go harvest some flax. I need to get it before we forget about it, because there's a bunch here. And if I'm correct, yeah, it's got cold damage. But I think each of these has some. We need to get it. And I can't do it with the sword. I was kind of hoping I could. But the knife shall do. So give me a minute. I'm just going to grab all this. Make sure I don't just completely lose it. Oh. Yeah, some of it definitely died. So I'm glad I finally got to it because I think all of it was going to die. At least we get seeds from that. It's not like it was a complete loss. That would suck so badly. And it seems like it was only that one row that died. So yeah, I think that was all of it. From what I can tell. By the way, I definitely gotta remove these. This berry greenhouse doesn't work. So I think I gotta put some fruit trees in there or something. Maybe some more cattails? I'm not too sure. But yeah, we did get a decent bit of flax. Nothing too much. We're gonna give it like a month or two. Then I'm gonna completely fill up each of these with flax again. Then we'll get an insane harvest. Remember, I did download Millwright. So the plan is to go and convert all that into Millwright stuff. That means I need to go make a whole bunch of different sails. So that's going to require a ton of flax as well. But for now, I'm going to get to work on this. We're going to basically make a big tower for it, but also expand it on each side. What I might end up doing is have like a central water flow right here. And then I can take this, flip it to this side so it also funnels into this waterway. And I could possibly take both of those and then flip it onto this side so another funnel goes this way into the same pit as well. Plus, of course, we're going to make it really tall. I could even make it go into the ground more. We're going to have a lot more levels to it. So yeah, I'm going to get to it right now and you guys will get a little montage of it. So see you in a minute. So welcome back, everybody. Look at the cube. Yeah, so I know it's ugly. However, I did encase it with a bunch of cobblestone. Luckily, I had a ton because this entire area is all claystone. So it gave me a reason to use it. However, it didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. We're gonna break in here. You can see that this place is incredibly bright. Look at it. It's working. You see them spawn in? Oh, yeah. This is what it's all about. But yeah, it's super bright in here. You can make the argument that I opened this, so it might make it bright. However, it shouldn't be bright over there. And it's just as bright when I had dirt. So potentially I could try to double layer it, triple layer it, quadruple layer it. However, this is a big box already, so it's going to be quite expensive. Okay, I need to go and get that. Just sneak my way in. Then let's get back out. So yeah, if you guys could tell, I put down a bunch of ice here. I was hoping that would help us out a bunch because they would kind of glide a little bit easier. So that was the goal. Hold on, I'm going to hop in. We got 3 layers here. So they can spawn all the way up there to all the way down here. And I layered cobblestone on top of each of these paths. That way grass and stuff wouldn't spawn. Look at that. It's working. So yeah, again, this is just another iteration of our test. I think there's a way for us to make it better. My guess is that we need to put it deep underground. That way no sunlight can get to it. However, this is a big project to move, but I'd be willing to do it. But that's a different day problem. Let's go over here. I do just have a trapdoor that leads all the way down, and one big hallway that leads to the kill box. So right now we do have a shiver, and it still takes them quite a while to get here, but last time when I was doing this with our first version of this, it took like 30 minutes to get one drifter, and it was at nighttime. This is daytime, and we've already got one, and I wasn't even down here. You can also see that current rift activity is medium. You guys seem pretty confident that it doesn't matter, so I plan on trying this multiple times when it's different rift activities and see the difference. And we should still be able to stab him. This is what it's all about. And can I loot him from there? I can. Oh, here's another one. So yeah, it still takes him quite a bit to get down here, and I guess he can throw rocks through that. Perhaps I'll have to do something to get rid of that. We're gonna loot him and some flax. I can definitely hear plenty above me. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit here for about 10 minutes, let them build up, and see what happens, because I have no idea what's gonna happen here. And why not give it a try? So, I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, so it's been almost 10 minutes, and I do gotta report something. We've only had about 3 people here, and my spectator cam has been upstairs just watching, and we haven't had much success. But as it turns out, they kill each other in here. I think they're just throwing rocks at each other. I have no idea. Oh, that's the first rock that's hit me in a while. See that? He just killed that one. It seems if they do a little bit of damage to each other, they just go full aggro on each other until one of them is dead. That's actually super cool. Maybe I don't even have to set up a little kill box or anything. However, it was doing so well right off the bat until we got a couple in here. Hold on, maybe if I kill this one, we'll start to get more. I can't hit him back there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm wondering if me sitting down here is gonna be an issue. Maybe I need to go above ground. Hold on, I'm gonna try that real quick. As soon as I came up here, immediately they started spawning like crazy. So I wonder if I wasn't close enough or something, or they just don't like me being next to the kill box. So what I might have to do is set up some sort of room for me to chill in here. Then once it starts to fill up, I go down, because right now there's so many in there. However, I don't want them to despawn or anything. I'm also seeing if just moving around in general would help. I doubt it's gonna, but maybe. We're doing science, guys. Anything to figure this out. So I do think there's a couple more down there. We're just gonna go check it out. Yeah, here they are. We even got a shiver. Look how many there are. So yeah, I guess the issue is actually being down here, which that's a weird one to solve. But I'm sure we can get around it. I think the plan is to just not sit down here and put a little box upstairs. And I'm very curious because it's about to become nighttime, so I think that it should up the spawns as well. Or at least I hope it does. Well, look at this. It's working so well. Now imagine if I had a thing that actually collects it all. Honestly, I'd be willing to get one of those mods that makes them drop their loot instead of having to go up and right click them and then put like a hopper or something down here. So if I can find that, then maybe we will, because that would be insanely cool. It's about to become nighttime. I'm gonna go make a little box for me to hide out in, and we're gonna give this a real try. By the way, again, as soon as I got up to here on the ladder, they started spawning like crazy up there. So potentially what I could do is just sit right here, and we'll give that a try. Okay, so I've been sitting in this box for a little bit, and something I've noticed is that they're not spawning again. I think there should be some down here. Yep, there is. So it seems like it spawns them in like a little batch or something. And it waits for this batch to be gone before they can actually respawn, which is really weird. So we're about to test that out again. But look, there's a shiver down there now. It seems like if I press myself up against this, then they start coming down like crazy. Maybe it's because I'm blocking them off. As soon as I did that, they stopped fighting the current upstairs. But yeah, it's completely dark out now, so they should be spawning more upstairs, I would think. Now I'm gonna go back upstairs again and see if they all respawn. Okay, we're on top. By the way, I did light this up a little bit. Unfortunately, I couldn't fully light it up, but hopefully soon we'll be able to. And there seems to only be one out here. Let's get him out of here. We even have a portal right there. Okay, back down we go. Let's see if they've come back. No. Yeah, the spawning mechanics in this game are so incredibly different, and I was hoping this would go a lot more smoother than it has. Like, we're on to something, but not quite yet. I like how all of this has awarded me 4 flax. So worth. Current rift activity is medium again. Just want to put that out there. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get spectator cam off of this world, and then I'm going to give it another go and see if that changes anything at all. So I just relogged. It's completely pitch black outside, which means that the spawner box should also be dark. And I'm going to give it about 5 minutes in here, then about 5 minutes on top of that ladder to see if that changes it at all. And we'll go from there. Okay, so it's been a little bit, and we just got 2 of these guys here now. So we're going to remove them. Then I'm going to go upstairs. But yeah, I don't think spectator cam was affecting this at all. I was a little bit worried about it, which is why we got rid of it. But now I'm going to go upstairs to right here, and I'm going to wait until morning to see how many things go into that chamber. Okay, I can see the sun, so let's go back down and see what's here. Oh, God. Okay, not what I expected. Get out of here, sir. That's right. Okay, well, I see that didn't go as planned at all. Nothing at all spawned in here. We trapped absolutely 0 enemies, except for 1, I guess. Somehow we got 1. I'm starting to think that this spawner up here might have been a failed project, and we're gonna have to come at it from a different angle. But it was really fun to try out, and I was super curious to see if some sort of old Minecrafty technique could work out. But it felt like the game was fighting me this entire time trying to get it to work, and perhaps we need to try something else out. Okay guys, I think I've fixed it. Look at it. It's working so well. Oh. Yeah, I gotta fix that still. But I think I got them to spawn. And I love how they just kill each other. It kinda helps me out a bunch. Let's clear these guys out real quick. You know, I could be just using my bow. But I want to get a clean slate so you guys can see what happens. I can't get this guy in the back. Okay, there we go. We're gonna clear these guys out real quick. So spectator cam's gonna be in the corner for now, and I'm gonna go upstairs and show you what I've done. So we now have a new tunnel that leads up this way, and it does connect with the surface over here with a nice tunnel. This is it. This is the entire thing right here. Well, sorta. If we come up here, now we're actually in the mob farm itself, and we have all these bars so we potentially won't get shot a bunch. And basically what we do is we get to just run across here a bunch. It will aggro everybody that's on the platforms, and they'll hop into the water trying to get us. And this should actually speed things up by quite a bit. However, it doesn't seem like much is in here right now. The current rift activity is high now. I do want to point that out. That might affect this. See, there's a guy right there, and he's kind of just wandering off. Before, they would just spawn here and then move a tiny bit back and forth, and sometimes they would drop off. But now they seem super active at them up here. And there's already a bunch down there. And the more I just walk across, the more that they should just keep spawning and walking into our pit. However, I wish I made the bars going left to right instead of up to down. It would make it so much more enjoyable to be running across this. So we're probably going to change that. But hey, this was just a work in progress. And this might count as a block, so they might know that they can't get me. So it might be worth it to remove some of this. Maybe the top one here so I can't get shot. I guess the bowtorns could get me from up there. Maybe I remove the block on the top here. Nothing would be able to shoot me. We do have a bunch of these oil lamps here. It should keep the path all lit up. However, not a lot of it's gonna spread. Maybe the tips right here might not be able to spawn things, but I think that's fine. Either way, as you can see, our mob farm has a ton of dudes in it right now, and we're just gonna head down there real quick. And here they are. Yeah, this worked out so much better than I thought it would. This is how I wanted it to be from the beginning. We even have bowtorns. That's the first bowtorn that we've ever gotten in here. And yeah, now we gotta worry about making this better at collecting. So we're gonna need some sort of trap here. I think there's spikes in one of the mods I have. See, I wanted it to work with vanilla, and I think that this is completely workable. Obviously, we could keep just looting them here and then clearing them out with my sword. Oh, look, a temporal gear. But yeah, it might just be worth it to add something that automatically kills them. If I'm correct, I think we have spikes now. However, I don't see them. Place in soft ground vertically for a pit trap. Yeah, see, this is what we would want. I don't know if they break or not, but we could put a bunch here so when they fall into it, they'll just die to it. That could potentially be what we want to do. We can also move lava because we have that primitive survival mod. However, I think liquids in this game don't exactly work like Minecraft. So it's not like we can put a bunch of signs under it from stopping the lava flow, because if it was an option, it would have been cool to just add some lava that they had to fall through here and then they just burn up. However, I don't think that's going to be something that's going to work out for us. Let's get the rest of these guys up and then we're going to do another round of this. Oh god, they're still spawning. Yeah, oh, there's another gear. This is what I'm talking about. Now I just need Jonas pieces. So if you notice, everything seems to be super low level. Like look, that's just a regular surface drifter. I think there's a way around this. Oh, hey dude. Yeah, but I think there's a way around this. And it's if we go and put this really deep. I actually think that would make all the dudes that spawn here a lot higher level. And we'd start seeing nightmare drifters and stuff like that. Spectator cams enabled again, and we're just gonna run around here and see if we can get a big haul again. Like look, there's already 2 there, there's 1 up there. It's so difficult to see. See, I wanted glass here. However, I don't think that they would like the glass, because I think they need to be able to think that they can get me, but that might be completely untrue. However, I did this just in case, and I really just wanted to make sure it worked. And honestly, I kind of expected myself to get shot a bunch more. Like look, there's a Botorn. He's gonna shoot. Do it. There we go. Oh, okay, so he can shoot me. Interesting. So I'm just gonna go this way and hopefully he falls down. But yeah, the trap downstairs is already filled with them. And I must say that this is working. Okay, my next report is I threw up a bunch of these spikes. These do require the primitive survival mod. And they are incredibly cheap. Just a bunch of sticks and a knife. And we only needed about 9 of them. And you can place them directly into dirt, maybe sand and stuff. It just requires something soft. And I threw a whole bunch here and it just seems to automatically kill all them. However, can I still loot them? I can loot that one. How about the guys in the back? Yep. That one's a little bit more difficult to get, but we can still do it. And yeah, I think that this just made it so much easier. However, I'm wondering how it's going to handle all the bodies once I go up there. So spectator cam is going to watch from there, and we're going to go up and lure a whole bunch. I want to fill that thing up and really stress test it to make sure everything will work out. Okay, so I've been doing this for a couple of minutes, and it started off pretty strong. However, now that I'm doing this, nothing has gone down there in quite a while. So I'm starting to think that if we get enough bodies piled up, then they kind of stop spawning in. But I don't think we're going to get any more until we clear it up. However, the test was still successful, saying that we did get plenty of them, and the trap handled it just fine. But yeah, it seems like there's a max amount allotted, which is also a bit worrying because Botorns really don't like to move up in that trap, I've noticed. A lot of them just kind of chill out on the platform that they spawned in and don't move at all. But I just cleared them, and we're gonna go back upstairs and see if they spawn again. But I'm starting to hear a bunch more already, so I do believe they're spawning again. Yep, and I see them falling into the trap already. You know, a minecart would be super nice for this. Just go back and forth on a minecart. However, walking isn't that bad. Okay, it filled up again. And yeah, that definitely means that we can only have so many bodies here. It's a bit of a shame. However, that's completely reasonable. That probably is a performance thing, so it doesn't tank your computer having a million bodies somewhere. But that does make this a little bit more lame, but again, reasonable. Wow, we're getting a whole lot of nothing here. We're still at 1 rusty gear, 2 temporal gears, and we're up to 18 flax. Yeah, I think the next step is that we need to put this far, far underground. And hopefully up there will be considered a cave. We'll be getting some nightmare spawns. Then we'll get some really good loot. Also, just an idea that I had. What if I completely filled this up with water? And hopefully my theory on them not being able to spawn in water is correct. Because we could use this as a temporal storm farm. Imagine that. Then we definitely get some high level ones. And a lot of loot to go with it. So perhaps we'll try that out as well. So welcome back again. I'm sure you guys can notice that the cube is gone. Everything has finally come full circle again. And I've spent quite a while trying to remove it. And this is all that's left of it. So yeah, now we no longer have that giant cube. Just making this place look horrible. I did have an idea where each of the corners was going to have like one of these. And then I was going to do some sort of triangle on top between them. And I think it could have looked pretty cool. However, I ended up removing it and going ahead with my plan to try to get some nightmare spawns. And I can say that we've done it. By the way, do you hear that bell? Yeah, things have been getting a little bit crazy in here. And we now have dead tainted drifters. And they drop a lot more loot. So this was so incredibly worth it. Look at that. We're already getting tons of flax, some gears. And I hear multiple bells up ahead of us. Which is actually kind of awesome because then they'll spawn in a ton of dudes. Hopefully not on me. That's a concern that I have. But there's multiple bells. And I'm going to go up there and leave spectator cam watching. We're going to try to lure some of the dudes that they're spawning into the pit. If those bells don't screw me over, I think that this will be so much better than it was before. See, there's a bell this way, but I can't see him. By the way, one of the benefits of this is look how dark it is in there. So yeah, bringing it down just for that alone was very worth it. And holy crap, we actually caught a bell down there. And there's another one up here as well. Yeah, this is working so much better than it was upstairs. We're going to be getting so much more just because of the tainted stuff. It's possible we might even see some of the saw blades, maybe locusts. And I know that they can drop quite a bit of loot as well. But it seems like our trap is mostly filled up downstairs, so we're going to head down. Oh yeah, look at that, and we even got a boat horn in there. This is so much loot. And we're getting gears. See, we just got 2 rusty gears from this already. And I think the entire last time that we tried this, we only got like 1. And this entire thing was meant to be a gear farm, mind you. I mean, temporal gears and stuff are pretty nice. And it would be cool if we got some Jonas pieces. However, I really wanted gears from this. That way we can do some trader stuff. And we'd actually have gears to afford them. Oh, there's a temporal gear. Let's go. Oh yeah, we're getting so much more loot from this though. And I think it might have been worth it, guys. Although I must report something weird is happening here. I can't place this block. I removed it so I could get a picture of that bell. And now I can't place this block here. However, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, I know what it is. It's my spectator cam. You, sir, need to get out of the way. And? Okay, it's fixed. Yeah, you were the issue the entire time. Don't do that again. But yeah, look at this. I wasn't even out there and it filled up again. I might not even have to walk around. They might just fill up on their own and I can just sit down here. But also I gotta do mention that my stability is going down like crazy. Luckily, because of Xskills, I can sit down here for quite a while. And if I go back to the surface, I can refill my entire stability in like a minute. So I'm not too worried about that. Also, look at that. That looks like a saw blade, does it not? And they should be dropping their loot. Like this guy, when he dies, he just automatically drops all of his loot. And I think so does that saw blade, which is going to be a bit of an issue. Because if they drop their loot back there, I'm not going to be able to get it. So I might have to do something to fix that. Either way, I'm super excited for this. I was getting very worried for a while. And I have hope. And I think we can get it a little bit better if we use mods. I did happen to find one that makes it so they can automatically drop their loot when they die. Kind of like this dead bell here. So I would need a way for them to die in here on top of a hopper. And I don't think the spikes are going to work. You know what? We're going to go ahead and we're going to test that out. Again, I'm not going to be able to auto pick it up yet. If any of you modders are out there, please make a mod that lets hoppers pick things up through blocks. Just 1 block. Okay, so I relogged. And I just noticed that this guy came back to life just to die. However, I do have a mod installed now. It should make it so they instantly drop their loot when they die. I'm starting to think that it didn't work. Oh, I hear another bell. Yeah, I'm very curious to see if it would work or not. The mod did say that it's instant temporal mob drops. So maybe it's only gonna drop like Jonas pieces, temporal gears, stuff like that. So it might not be the flax. And I'm not gonna get too worried about it right now. However, I suppose we could go upstairs, lure a whole bunch back down there, and see if anything at all drops. Come on, guys. Drop down into the pit. Okay, we're back down. Did we get anything at all? I don't think that we did. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and loot them. We'll see if they have any sort of temporal stuff in their inventory. There's definitely stuff all over the ground. Like, look at that. Are those temporal pieces? What are those? Okay, bad idea. Let's remove that. Let's remove that. Let's go in. Okay, it's flax. That's actually flax dropping. Okay, we need to place that back before I die. So it does work. Flax is indeed dropping. I'm surprised it's staying on top of the spikes, to be honest. Maybe we could just put hoppers down and then lava on top of it. However, I don't know if lava will delete items. So what I think I'm going to go do real quick is we're going to make ourselves a metal bucket. Metal buckets are a part of the primitive survival mod, and I haven't had any need to use them yet. And they can actually pick up lava. And potentially we could use lava with the trap. And if it doesn't delete the items, or if the hoppers can pick it up quick enough, then we could have an auto loot mechanic. So Let's heat up some steel. By the way, I don't know if I could do it with any other metal. However, I figured if anything could work, it's steel. And we can always just make some more. Okay, this should be the last thing. And we just need a copper bucket handle. I probably only needed 1 copper for that. Place that back. And there we go. So ideally, it should be pretty simple to make. Oh, I can make a steel block. I should make a base out of that. Probably not, but we got our metal bucket, and I do happen to know where some lava is. Okay, so here we are. Ideally, I should just be able to pick it up. This spot too hot to put in my hands. What? We do got a nice little metal bucket. The bucket does say it's sturdy enough to transport lava. This spot too hot to put in my hands. What does that mean? Maybe I need to go find different lava? I mean, that's possible. So if we go up to lava, we can pick some up. And I was having an issue before where I couldn't pick it up. And I've done nothing different here. However, I found this stagnant pool. And this seems to work out just fine. So I guess if you're having this issue like me, try to find something like this. And not like a big waterfall of it. So I just set this entire thing up. It's a whole bunch of hoppers where the spikes were. And they have a bunch of chutes that all lead into one singular chest. And I think if we just place some lava right there, then this could potentially work. Watch, it's gonna spill out. Can I place it here? No. Oh no. No, not another issue. It's fine. We're gonna place that there and then onto it. Nope. Shift click. There we go. Okay, break it. Is it... No, it's spreading through the hoppers. No. Oh, man. Okay, please tell me I can pick back up. I can. Okay, that's good. Hopefully it all disappears. So now we have another very interesting issue to work with. Okay, so I've been doing a bit of testing here, trying to get this all to work. And this is what I've come up with. So this is a block on top of the hopper, and it's only 1 pixel thick. I tested it to make sure that an item couldn't just go through a 1 pixel block, and it could not. However, if I throw one there, it went right through, which means that this could possibly work. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab these 2 real quick. So we place down the chest, then the hopper, then this. We're gonna surround it with dirt. I really hope this goes well. I think it should be safe. This should be a good test room, right? So nothing should catch on fire. I really hope so. And ideally, if I drop this into the hole, but I actually gotta drop it in. There we go. So it should be in that chest. Okay, so it definitely works as is. Now we're gonna grab this, and we're gonna put some lava in there. And it went through. Okay, we gotta pick that up. We gotta pick it up. Pick it up. Not ideal. I was really hoping that that would stop the lava. And it would consider that as a block or something. But as you can see, it definitely did not. Please go away, lava. Okay, now we gotta check the rest of this house. We all good? No fires? I'm gonna go downstairs real quick. I forgot that the roof was actually all wood. But yeah, I don't see any fires. So I think we're good. Wait. I think the roof did catch on fire, did it not? I think that's what it was creating. What is that? Basalt. Yeah, why else would there be basalt there? Everything down here seems fine. Okay, we're not going to do that test inside again. So, that being said, I'm a bit lost here. Wait, where did the block go? There was a block on this. Is it in there now? No. Wait. Yeah, it even got rid of a chest. This is a trunk. And now there's basalt in it. And yeah, there was a block here. And I definitely don't have it right now. As it turns out, lava might be more destructive than I thought. Either way, basalt generator, let's go. But yeah, if you have an idea how we could get this thing to start auto-looting, I would be very open to hear you guys' suggestion. If I could get this thing to be completely automatic, that would just be amazing. And then hopefully we'll have a ton of Jonas parts. I really want to go for all the Jonas pieces. I know it's got like a little return to home teleporter. We got the night vision, all that stuff. On top of that, I really want to get some rusty gears. That way I can start to work with the villager mod and we can start filling this place up. So yeah, if you have any ideas, please let me know and we'll get to trying them out. By the way, would you look at this? We definitely busted up the floor. Yeah, this is not something I expected and it didn't do it to all of it. However, we definitely ruined some of it. And I'm not going to do anything that stupid again. I thought it would be fine. I didn't expect this. That could have gone horribly. Oh, my poor floor. Don't worry, I'll fix it. It should be easy. but that still sucks. Anyways, guys, I think we got a lot done today, and even if I don't fully automate it, then I'll still be pretty happy with what we've accomplished. Hopefully we can make it better, but even if we have to use it as is and just throw the spikes up, I think that would be completely fine. But I think that's it for today. So thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll see you next time.